Thank you, Rabbi Burton. I want to wish Mazel Tov to all the boys who are participating in this program. A special Mazel Tov to the parents and the grandparents who are helping their children learn Torah. And a very, very special Mazel Tov to Rabbi Burton, who gave birth to this program and is increasing the amount of learning of Torah to such a great extent. I'm going to share a story with you. I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask that you listen carefully, because at the end, I'm going to give you a title. We just finished a yontif called Shavuos, at which time that we celebrated Kabbalah Torah. And if you look at the Jewish calendar, we have one yontif when we eat matzah and maror. We have one yontif during which we sit in the sukkah, we bench Esher Galula. But isn't it interesting that in a couple of months, we're going to have another yontif called Simchas Torah. So we have Shavuos and we have Simchas Torah. The Dubna Maggid asked the question, why is it that we have two Yom Tovim to celebrate the Torah? And he answered the question with a very interesting story. There was once a king and a queen. They had anything and everything in the world that they wanted, but unfortunately, they did not have children. They tried everything. They went to doctors, but to no avail. Somebody suggested that they go to a tzaddik, a great makubal, and ask him for advice. They went to this makubal, and he said, you will have a daughter in 1 year on one condition. And the condition is that from the time that she is born, no man shall see her until she's married. During that year, the queen became pregnant, and the king found an island which he prepared with a hospital, with a school, with anything and everything that a child would need. Baruch Hashem, the daughter was born. The king didn't see her because the deal was no man can see the girl until she gets married. When it was time for her to get married, the king sent out a message around the world to every prince saying that my daughter is eligible for marriage. Do you want to marry my daughter? Many princes came to the king's palace, but everyone said, I would consider marrying your daughter, but I have to meet her. And the king said, I'm sorry. You can't see her until after the wedding. And all the princes left. One gentleman who worked for this king had no choice. And he said, I'll marry your daughter. Just imagine what this chasna was like. The chassan walking down the aisle was very nervous. Why did they hide this young girl from everybody? Maybe she's ugly. Maybe she's not pretty. And under the chuppah, he looked at her and he said, she's beautiful. Then he got nervous again. Maybe she's feeble-minded. Maybe she has a miserable personality. They got married. And he found out that she was not only beautiful, she was intelligent, and she was a lovely person. So the chassan went back to the king and he said to the king, I have a confession to make. During the wedding, I was very nervous. I didn't enjoy the wedding because I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. Can we have another wedding? And of course, the king agreed and said, we'll have another wedding. When Klal Yisrael got the Torah, we did not know what was in it. We were nervous. What is the Torah going to require of us? But Baruch Hashem, We received the Torah, Na'aseh v'nishma, and we love the Torah. And we went back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Dubno Maggid says, and we said, we were nervous on Shavuos. We didn't know what we were going to get ourselves into. Can we have another Yom Tov in order to celebrate? That's why we have Simchas Torah, when we sing and we dance with great love for the Torah. You boys, because of your learning in yeshiva, because of the background that your parents are giving to you, and because of the program of Mishnayos that you were learning, now have tasted what it means to learn Torah. You can celebrate, and you deserve a big mazel tov. I'm going to give you a title. The title is Ben Torah. Now that you are learning Torah, you can be called a Ben Torah. Mazel tov to you. Continue to learning, continue to grow in Torah, and continue to love and enjoy the learning of Torah. Thank you for listening.